Escalation clauses, that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm Glenn Stein, Realty Executives. Two offices, Ocala and in the Villages. So if you have questions about anything real estate, I'm actually the broker here, and we've got 90 agents that work this entire area, whether it's Marion County, Sumter County, Lake County. We've got a lot of people that are working the area. And if you need a recommendation for someone that is needing to assist you in either selling or buying a home in our area, I can help you out with that. So 352-572-3796 is the phone number. You could also find us at buymidflhomes.com if you just want to search. You know, my heart is this. My heart is actually to assist, to help, to inform. And I think one of the things that we need to do in this industry, in the real estate industry, is to inform people better. So that's a lot of what I'm doing right now. That's what I've been doing my whole career. That's actually a reason why I started Realty Executives back in 2004. And that's been my heart, like to teach, to help, to assist. And today is no exception. So the first thing I want to share with you is it's August 11th, 2021. I want to give you the basic 7-day numbers in Marion County, right? Marion County, mostly Ocala, Bellevue, and some of the surrounding areas, parts of the Villages, but mostly Ocala. 182 new listings in the last 7 days. We've seen a little bit of an uptick in inventory, a little bit, which I think is a healthy thing. We've got 965 properties available active right now in Marion County on MLS. 31 price increases, 96 price decreases, a little bit of a pullback. A little bit of buyer fatigue, a little bit of buyer vacations, but we just went back to school in Marion County this week. So that could mean something. It's going to be interesting. Usually August, September, a little bit slower traffic month, but still we're seeing record-setting numbers. But still, I think we're seeing a little bit of an opportunity for buyers to buy something because a little bit of a slowdown as opposed to 10 offers, we're getting maybe 1 or 2 offers on the average on different properties. That's what my agents are telling me. Sold last 7 days, which closed, is 170 closed properties and 237 pending properties, meaning houses that have gone under contract. They listed it, then it went under contract. It was priced appropriately. One thing we are seeing is some, not a lot, but I mean a handful of appraisal issues. I think that's been a thing that we'll probably talk about in the next couple of weeks. Appraisal issues based on the price increases, based on the inventory being low, based on not enough proof for appraisers to see what the real values are. Very typical. This has happened a couple of times in the past. I've been I've had my license since 2000. Seen the market a couple of times. We've seen this back in 4, 5, 6 when the prices were increasing, and then we saw it again coming out of the great real estate recession, 2010, 11, 12, when prices were increasing. Appraisers did have an issue with appraising properties and finding the comps, necessary comps, because they won't use actives, they'll only use solds. So let's cover this. There's the big thing I want to cover with you today is the sales price escalation addendum, the sales price escalation addendum. So if you're not familiar with this, you might have seen this before, you might have heard about this. Some people are against it, some people are for it. I think it's a good way to actually maybe differentiate. It's not going to be it's not going to guarantee they're going to win the bid when you're competing against other offers, but at least it gives you a leg up and allows you to position yourself in a way that could help you win in a multiple offer situation when you're trying to find a house and you're competing, and maybe you're like, oh my gosh, I'm tired of losing. You might want to include an escalation clause if it fits. It's not for everybody, by the way, and if you have questions about this, let's connect. But basically, I'm looking at it now, and essentially there's 2 or 3 different areas that I want to cover with you with the escalation clause. The first one is there's a line in here that talks about the net reflected in this offer, then this contract sales price shall automatically increase by blank. So that first blank, by the way, after you've got the address of the subject property and the buyer's names and seller's name and the dates and all that kind of stuff. The first blank is going to be how much you're going to increase the offer by over the highest other offer. So typically, I've seen a lot of things. I've seen $1, I've seen $1,000, I've seen unusual numbers like $1,201. I don't know that it really makes a difference. You know, a little bit above, significantly above, a little bit above is the highest other offer is probably a smart move. So $1,000 or $1,001 I think is appropriate. And then the next part is basically talking about, you know, what's going to be your maximum price. So for instance, let's say your home that you're putting an offer on is $250,000. You've got 2 or 3 other offers on the table, or at least that's what you're hearing from the listing agent, or your buyer's agent is hearing from the listing agent. And you know that the most you'd want to pay for this particular home, which I think is probably the conversation you've got to have with your buyer's agent. You know, what's the most amount of money you're willing to spend? Or in other words, what's the price that if you knew that it's sold for that price, you'd be really disappointed, like, darn it, I would have gone to that price. That's the price you should go to as your max, okay? So let's say 260 is your max, okay? That's the maximum you'd want to spend. The next line, that's where you're going to say 260,000, that's the most, right? Now, the rest of this is basically for the seller's part. I just want to cover the buyer's portion today. So those 2 lines is really what you need to be concerned with. $1,000 or $1,001 over the highest offer. That's not yours. The max is $260,000 on a $250,000 list price, if that's the scenario that we want to play out. So a couple of things. Let me play a little bit of devil's advocate. One thing you might be wondering is, okay, wait a second. If I put 260 in there, do I have to pay 260? Or they'll automatically know that I'm willing to pay 260,000 and I may be overpaying by $10,000. So the answer to that is no, you're not, because it's $1,001 or $1,000 over the highest, next highest offer, and the seller is obligated to provide proof of that particular offer. So if the highest offer in our example is actually $255,000, then you would only have to pay $256 and $1, right? Like 1,001 over the last, you know, the next highest offer. So 255 being the highest in this case, then you would only pay 256. So it automatically allows the seller to understand what your offer is going to be, your highest, as opposed to, you know, the other alternatives, you know, highest and best. Then you say, well, my highest is going to be 260. Well, guess what? You're paying 260 in that case. So this allows some flexibility, allows you to not necessarily overpay, which, by the way, when you buy a home, you always overpay because you're paying more than the highest other offer anyway. So it's kind of a fallacy around that. But if you have questions about this, let me know. Be happy to answer any questions on this. It's a little bit complex, but I think it's a smart move most of the time. I think one of the things that you have to do is when you're negotiating an offer, come up with a strategy with your buyer's agent. Your buyer's agent should be able to come up with a real strong strategy to help you win, or at least show you the route where you can actually win the bid as much as you want to go, right? Not way overpay, but you can overpay, like we said, but help you win in this case. So questions, 352-572-3796. You could also find us at buymidflhomes.com. Okay, take care.